Hi, my name's Carly Pierce. I'm a Canadian artist, and today I'm here with my bestie of all time, Brittany Oliver. She's a writer, and we're going to be talking about creativity, and we're going to ask each other some like secret questions and maybe talk about AI a little bit. Go ahead and introduce. It's because it's so serious.
I'm Brittany Oliver. I am. Can't even. I'm Brittany Oliver, and I'm an author and poet. I write adult speculative novels.
You're a midwife too.
Oh, I forgot!
And you're a mom. You're a midwife, a mom.
I am Brittany Oliver. I'm a writer, a poet, a registered midwife, a mom of two, and a soon-to-be new dog mom.
Yes. A little rescue named Walker.
Yes.
So cute. We've both written questions, and we're going to ask each other them. See what happens. We'll just use them to kind of prompt a conversation. What would you say is your main motivation for writing? Why do you write?
I don't think it's anything external. Like, I think it has to be, like, there's just something inside you. I don't know if you feel this way with painting, but like, there's just something that makes me feel like a complete human being when I do it. And when I don't do it, or if I go a long time without writing, then I feel off. Like you just can't pinpoint it sometimes. There's just something inside of you that draws you to create. And in my case, it's stories.
Do you see like yourself sometimes like as a vessel of creativity, of like it's coming through and you have to get it out, or like
there's just something inside of you that I feel like is being put together, and then I'm able to release it in pieces versus something that's like looking for me as its vessel.
Okay, that makes sense. And instead of like coming to you and like coming out through you.
The first one I wrote down was, do you have seasonal creativity disorder?
Oh, that's an interesting question, actually.
I made up the term really fun. I'm just curious if there's a time of year that you feel you can be more creative or less creative, go into hibernation, brainstorm. Like, do you have a season that you thrive in?
I would say the cooler weather, like fall and winter, have less going on outside and there's less distractions. I think I get more done in the cooler weather, I would say, but I don't know if it like affects me so much mentally anymore because I'm on medication.
I wrote this as like a bonus question, but it kind of ties in with motivation. But I was just going to say, like, I know we both have that like internal need to do it, but on days that feel particularly hard to create, like, are you somebody who will try to force motivation, or do you take a step back and like take a break from it and then just rely that it'll find yourself again, like the inspiration will come again?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I think there's like, I've learned at this point when it's like, okay, like I need to take a few days.
Yeah.
Because there's no forcing it. I need to wait a few days and like find something I like actually feel inspired to paint instead of forcing it. But then there's other times where it's like, okay, you're just being lazy at this point. Like find something and make it work. Like this is like, I've also made it into, this is my career too, right? So I'm like, I don't have a ton of like I have to do it at some point.
Pressure on top of
it. Sometimes you just have to physically just sit down and start it. People talk about creative block a lot, and it's sometimes you can't sit there and like wait for it to come to you. You have to go and find it.
Yeah.
Or for you, it would be like I sit down at the computer.
I was gonna say there's so much commonality in that because sometimes I'm like the words are not coming. But if I just sit down and like write a garbage paragraph, eventually something starts to happen, and these like the wires connect in my brain, and something's like, oh, that we're doing this.
Yeah, it can't be perfect every time either. If you have like this idea that it has to be a perfect outcome every single time, that's a lot of pressure on yourself. Okay, so how do you collect everyday life inspiration? Do you keep notes? Do you read other people's writing? What do you do to sort of like gather information for your like your books, your poems?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have like my notes app in my phone comes in really handy, actually. Because I like to think that I'd be able to keep everything in my brain. But sometimes you're just like, it does just kind of like you get a thought and you're like, oh my gosh, like, that sounds really great. I need to like work on that. So I'll just like open my notes app and write like a summary. So I have different ones. I have like work in progress. I have the title of like my previous novel that I wrote. I have like ideas for future novels. I have different, it's all
like
just like
categories,
yeah,
just like put all together for
yeah.
you to like pick and choose from almost.
It doesn't feel organized when you open it up, to be honest, but it's just one of those things where if I go back to the project I'm working on, I can go through my list and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And sometimes you go back and you're like, oh, that wasn't as nice as I thought it was going to be or whatever. But that's just where I store things when I can't. If you had to give up painting, what would replace that creative hole in your life?
Ooh, probably music. I would love to have had like guitar lessons and got more involved in playing guitar. What'd you pick, do you think?
I wasn't a writer. You know what I might do?
What?
Bake.
Oh, I can see that.
For a full year there, I just dove into like different baking recipes. Yeah.
That's cool. What's the earliest memory you have of writing, and do you think that had influence on you now or to continue writing from that point?
I think so. I wrote my first novel in grade 3.
Genius. What was that one about?
This was like a little adventure novel.
Oh, okay.
Of like a little girl there's like an old like Walmart plaza by my house. And I wrote about a little girl who goes into like one of the stores there and it was like a portal fantasy. So she gets transported to this new world and has to like find her way home. It was about 40 pages long.
That's awesome.
And it was my first like long form fiction at that point. But yeah, I was in grade 3. Like I remember like enjoying writing and reading and that before that. But that was my first sense of like, I think that was my first, I want to be a writer. Yeah. Or like
So was it like people's feedback to it?
I don't remember a lot of feedback on it, honestly. But I remember being so proud and like holding that like thick pad of paper in my hands. And like I remember I couldn't even staple it.
That's
and
so
I had
cool.
like a little like stapler and I was like, I can't even get it together. And then I didn't write another novel until 5 years ago.
True, but you wrote a lot in between.
Poetry definitely found my life and was my like outlet for a really long time. I was just always on my bucket list to write a novel one day, and it wasn't until my COVID mat leave. I honestly think a lot of people had it on their bucket list, sat down and actually wrote during that period of time. And so it was kind of like a silver lining for me discovering that I could actually do it in adulthood.
True. And then juggling now, you have 2 kids.
Yes.
And you're working on your second novel.
Yes.
So how are you finding the time? How are you finding the time and like the inspiration and like what's your sort of place with that?
Inspiration just comes and goes. And like I said, you just have to like write it down while you're thinking of it and in the zone. Time is a beast of its own. Right now I work part-time as a midwife, so I'm really fortunate that sometimes I work in a 6-week rotating schedule. So there's a chunk of my schedule it's very midwife focused and I get very little writing done. But then there's a chunk of my schedule where I don't have a lot of midwife like on-call responsibilities or anything like that. So that is the chunk of time that I dedicate to writing. So again, very fortunate. I have daycare, my one kid's in school. So on the parts of my schedule that are slower, I really just go hard with the writing.
So the times when your schedule is fuller.
Yes.
In your brain.
I write very little.
But like in your brain, you're brainstorming?
Yes.
Are you like itching to get back at it?
I think about the book every day. And then I put so much pressure on me that the first time I get a chance to write, I sit down and I like freeze.
Yeah.
I don't know what to write.
It's all built up. Like...
Yeah. It's like the anticipation is so exciting. And then once I actually get there, it's like, and then you just gotta push through that, right? You just gotta like, okay, like we were talking before, like just get going and then things will come back.
Yeah, true. So your oldest she's 6 now? 5.
She'll be 6.
She'll be 6.
Months, yeah.
And how have you like talked about writing and what you're doing with her?
Well, I wrote a children's book, so she knows that mommy likes to write stories, and I actually got to go to her class and read it, and was like the author guest.
I love that.
So she knows that that's a really big part of my life, and she celebrates things with me. So like, yeah, she knows, and she knows like when mommy's working, it's like either. Well, she thinks my work is also volleyball. So mom is going to help mummies and babies, going to play volleyball or going to write. I like want to set that example of having balance in your life. Like you're
Totally.
busy with kids and their schedules are packed and your own work schedule is packed, but being able to prioritize those parts of you that feel really special and like essential to who you are as a person, like that's what I'm trying to foster and grow.
So we just went out for dinner and we started talking about AI, how AI is stealing from human artists. And I guess we can maybe talk about that a bit.
Just like a plea of mindfulness into terms of what we're consuming as a species.
Yeah, like we were saying, like a lot of people maybe don't even realize like what they're reading or what they're buying, what they're consuming is something that's not coming from a person.
Terrifying.
It is terrifying.
And just the like timeline of things too, in terms of like it took me 6 years to write my first adult novel, and the fact that AI is spitting out stories in record time using stolen copies of other like writers' work.
There's a lot of art online that's done by AI now, and I even have a hard time sometimes recognizing that it's AI.
Oh, I for sure.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's like, you know, sometimes I think, wow, that looks like really cool. And then I found out that it's AI and it's just like, people are buying this stuff to hang up on their walls, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I'm hoping that people really yearn for human made content, especially going into this like deeper and deeper, you know, time of technology and AI. It hopefully will make human made like creativity even more like special and sacred, I think. And more important to teach.
I think just the advancement of technology in certain aspects of life can be really beneficial. Like there's a lot of healthcare technology that I'm very grateful for. And then but it just does not have a place in the creative worlds.
For sure.
Like generative AI. Like I think my biggest sort of points about it is that like it's using real humans' work, right? And they're not seeing any sort of like compensation or anything for that, really.
I feel like we had a pretty good conversation. Like we had a nice serious conversation. We did it.
We did
We
it.
did it.
We did.
You can't say too much because she's got some like how much can we say about with her writing?
2027. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned in 2027, everyone. We're gonna do a follow-up video when we're allowed to say. Signing off. Carly Pearson, Brittany Oliver. Thank you for watching.